A woman holding a pet dog is taking a selfie by the road. The rope on her hand suddenly moved. The blood-stained circle was automatically retracted. A wolf walked out in a hurry. The woman was terrified and backed off, but she didn't notice the car coming. Although the woman didn't die immediately, we can only wait for her more tragic end. This is the third wolf attack in this month, experts explain, because of the continuous 2-week forest fire inhabited the habitat of these wild wolves. They have no choice but to come to the human community for survival. The male host Jason did not pay attention to this news at this time. He was lying on the wall listening to the movements inside. The rat in the house is getting worse. He had to invite the most powerful pest expert in the industry. The latter circled around with a professional instrument, soon locked the rat's nest, but want to completely exterminate. He must go back and equip some drugs and traps. Experts promised to come and exterminate the rat in 2 days before he left. He also emphasized it's best not to have a dog at home because mice love dog food the most. The daughter Chloe is not willing. This is her sweetheart. TV news is broadcasting a red warning. There will be a strong wind tonight. The wife reminds Jason not to forget to trim the big tree at the door. However, Jason thinks the news will only be heard in large. The small probability incident as a result. There was a strong wind outside the villa that night. Sleepy Chloe was awakened by the barking of the dog. I don't know why the dogs she raises keep barking at the outside. Chloe curiously looked through the dog hole. A shadow quickly passed in front of her. The girl was so scared that she ran to her parents' room. Jason ran out with a temper to check. In addition to the roaring wind outside, there is no abnormality at all. Jason continued to search the yard downstairs. A wild wolf walked out of the dark like this. The man instinctively waved his hand. The light on the top of his head suddenly flashed. The wild wolf actually walked away. Jason comforted his daughter not to be afraid. Until the next moment, the lights in the house suddenly went out. What they were most worried about happened. The big tree at the door was blown down by the wind. Not only crushed the only car, even with the line burned. Jason's long words are gone. This storm was much more serious than expected. Many houses were damaged, even with large areas of power outage. And when his wife checked the hospital, I accidentally saw a blood-stained necklace. I'm sure it's not his dog. He knocked on the door of the neighbor's house at the first time. The wound in the heart of the victim. This is the necklace for his cat. I haven't been home since last night. And another neighbor Fandy. At this time, I came to Jason's house to pick up the tools, but I have to chop wood with my fingers. He can only come back in the afternoon. After saying goodbye to Jason, Fandy carried a bottle of wine back to his house. He just hung up his wife's phone. I don't know when there are 3 more wild wolves behind. At first he was very hard-hearted until his ankle was bitten off a piece of skin. Fandy didn't expect these wild wolves are so ferocious. And the businessman Mike knocked on the door of Jason's house. There was a scream in the back, but he didn't care about these at this time. Mike just wanted to know, where did you find this necklace? Jason's wife Julie took him to the backyard. Mike kept shouting the name of the cat. Suddenly his face changed. Under the dense leaves there was a corpse of a cat. And the other side of Fandy's wife can't wait for her husband to come back. No one answered the phone until he walked into the yard. Suddenly he heard his husband's cell phone ringing. At this time, Jason and his wife still discussing the cause of Mike's cat's death. The bite marks on the body seemed to have been bitten by a beast. As a result, his voice just fell. Another wild wolf walked into the field. Jason thought the other party was just passing by until he saw Jennings' teeth. He just realized something was wrong. Are you working on it? Oh, come on, just close the garage door. The wild wolf rushed up unknowingly. The night fell. Fandy's wife followed the sound, finally found her husband's cell phone, but when she saw the broken hand on the ground and the wild wolf, the woman was scared to death. She hurried back to the house and closed the door. As a result, the wild wolf broke in through the window. Thinking of the miserable husband, she was angry and picked up a bottle of spray. She was going to burn the wild wolf to death. As a result, she accidentally knocked over the grill behind her. Her body was instantly ignited. Oh my God. And the rich businessman Mike here, still immersed in the pain of losing a cat. The girlfriend just finished charging in the car. Seeing Mike's sad look, he decided to comfort each other. The show hasn't started yet. A few wild wolves suddenly came out. Mike ran out of the gun. It's a pity that there are so few bullets. He could only follow his girlfriend to the second floor to escape, but the two of them didn't have time to relax. The bedroom door actually opened by itself. Who would have thought that the wild wolf would unlock it himself? The girlfriend was scared to hide in the bathroom. Mike was stuck in place. Jason's family living next door. He heard continuous gunshots. Julie was angry and didn't want to feel it. She could call the police. She was always on the front line. The dog raised by his daughter seemed to have found something. He ran to the yard Along the dog hole Jason hurried out. He found that the dog was running crazy in front of him. The coffin seemed to be hiding something. The man was worried. Remind the dog not to force himself. His voice just fell. The pet dog fled in an instant. The two wild wolves were slowly coming this way. The wife ran back to the room and closed the door at once. Jason followed the dog, came to the neighbor Mike's house. This is the daughter's new pet. There must be no accident. But he soon found something wrong. Mike's family seemed to have experienced a fierce battle. No one answered for a long time. Jason came to the second floor with courage. The whole face was white. All you can see is Mike's body being bitten. The red blood made him feel dizzy. Suddenly, a few gunshots were heard in the bathroom. Jason ran to the bathroom in a panic. Mike's girlfriend is still alive. It's just that the state of mind is very bad. He heard his boyfriend die in pain, but he never had the courage to go out and save people. Jason can only try to comfort. This is human nature, but he must go back to his wife and son to reunite. Mike's girlfriend doesn't want to lose this reliance. Blindly explained that he had a car parked in the yard. Jason moved in his heart as a result. He took the woman downstairs after the accident. At this time, the mobile phone in his pocket suddenly rang. It turned out to be from the killer. Jason grabbed the life-saving straw, asked the other party to come and save himself. He just wanted to explain that there was a wolf disaster here. As a result, the cell phone battery was exhausted and turned off. The two people could only quietly touch the hall. As a result, a few wolves appeared again. This time the girlfriend was not retreating. Holding his gun as a fierce shot. See the blood-stained wolf. The depression in his heart is finally swept away. Jason pulled his neighbor's girlfriend and jumped into the car. He plans to pick up his girlfriend and leave immediately. Who knew an operation error? The car suddenly rushed out. It was forced to stop until it hit the water. Jason walked down the car with his neck. A wild wolf suddenly appeared in the dark. The man was suddenly thrown to the ground. Fortunately, his wife Julie appeared in time. He used a flamethrower to drive the bad wolf away. Jason just barely saved his life, and the naughty dog ran home by himself. It's just that the tea maker in Mike's house suddenly broke. The fallen candlelight ignited the curtain. With the help of a fierce wind, the whole villa was quickly burned up. The bad wolf howled in the scorching fire. Jason also realized that he should not stay here for a long time. Unfortunately, their cars were all damaged. Only Mike's girlfriend's cell phone still has power. However, the emergency phone is always on the line. When everyone was discussing the countermeasures, there was a howl on the second floor. I didn't expect a bad wolf to crawl in through the window on the second floor. A few people can only find a hiding place for themselves. His wife Julie hid behind the table, but the table was soon overturned by violence. A can of meat fell from the table. It just caught the attention of the bad wolf. Chloe, hiding under the stairs, was worried that she would be exposed. She planned to take the opportunity to escape to the second floor. Everyone looked out nervously. Who knew there was another bad wolf? He dug into the dog hole. Chloe, who was selling cat cloth, was completely exposed. Jason's father was busy standing up. Unfortunately, he couldn't make the bad wolf move. Instead, he was targeted by the previous wolf. At a critical moment, Julie stood up. He wrapped the bad wolf's head with a cloth. Jason's reaction was quick. He pulled out the iron fork next to the fireplace and stabbed it down. After solving this bad wolf, the couple ran upstairs in a hurry, but they saw their daughter lying in the blood. Her neck was torn off, a large piece of skin. If it weren't for the bad wolf being scared away by the screaming downstairs, the girl Chloe must have been buried here. A few people were busy bleeding. However, her situation was not optimistic. She had to be sent to the hospital immediately, but there were a lot of wolves, not to mention the nearest town. They even had a hard time getting out of the yard. Jason turned to the basement. There are a lot of materials piled up here. He decided to make a mobile fence. This will effectively prevent the bad wolf from attacking. At this time, the car horn sounded outside. Everyone looked out the window unexpectedly. The expert came. Eliminating the mouse is his specialty, but when he saw these wild wolves, the expert was nowhere to be found. His car was equipped with an electric weapon enough to deal with these large beasts. The bad wolf retreated, but the expert didn't have time to be pleased. He was attacked by the bad wolf. Jason closed his eyes in despair. I didn't expect the so-called expert to be here to die. The man could only continue his plan. Suddenly, the sound of the wind coming from the basement. Jason thought the sound was familiar. He climbed in curiously along the passage. He saw two wolves trapped inside. Jason's heart suddenly opened. He finally understood why the wild wolf was attacking everyone. It must be that the other party is looking for his own cub. Jason's mind flashed a bold idea. Wait until the car door opens again. His mobile fence has been completed. Jason hugged the wolf and hid inside. He didn't have to worry about the attack of the bad wolf. He knew these beasts were very spiritual. While gently letting go of the cub, he didn't forget to say he also wants to protect his family. The wild wolf seemed to understand what Jason meant. After reuniting with the cub, he didn't attack anyone. Jason often lost his breath. He took his family into the bread car of the expert at this time. The fire had spread to Jason's villa. A group of people quickly went to the downtown. The above is all the content of the film. This movie is only a bit understandable with the camera of the bad wolf. There are still a lot of logical loopholes, and the plot of the Saw suggest you watch Aki's commentary. Okay, that's it for today. See you next time.